In 2015, Win & Win launched their Wiawis line of products, focusing on the new riser and limbs. Alongside that, however, are a couple of accessories carrying the Wiawis brand, namely the EZ and EZR finger tabs. This is the EZR finger tab. I bought this one months ago and have had plenty of time to break it in. I bought this one from Lancaster Archery for $75 US. For Australian buyers, you can get this from Archery suppliers at 100 Australian dollars, which is around the same price as Lancaster without the shipping. The EZ finger tab is priced the same, though it has a slightly different design. My first impression of the EZR tab was that it was really shiny. It has a very nice finish, a modern look and a colourful strap. It's solid and feels nice. It also comes with quite a few extras. It comes with one hex wrench which fits on all the screws, a lot of spare screws, a spare finger strap, and this piece of backing cardboard, which is actually a list of detailed instructions on how to adjust each part of the finger tab. What I've got here is not what the tab looks like when you first get it. I'm going to restore it to its original form. One of the defining features is the finger rest. This is meant to provide support for your pinky finger. This can be moved forward or back by loosening the screws, and the tab has markings for easy reference. If you don't like to use the rest, it can be slotted back into the main plate. As with many finger tabs, the EZR has a removable ledge. This one is rather small and not as obstructive as others. It can be adjusted up or down based on user preference. Lastly, the circle plate can be shifted back and forth to fit nicely into your hand. This is what the tab looks like once all the parts are fully assembled. Of course, as the archer, you may choose to leave some out or not use any at all. While I'm at it, I may as well talk about why some people choose to add or remove certain parts of their finger tab. The ledge is usually one of the first bits to go for any finger tab. Some people really like having the ledge on the tab. It gives them a nice reference point. So when you're drawing and you're anchoring, you can feel that metallic anchor ledge against your jaw. So this makes it a very nice reference point. However, a lot of people don't like it because it does feel very odd. The small contact area is okay for some people who want that real precise touch, but a lot of people prefer the close, snug feeling of their fingers against their jaw. So if you're shooting with a jaw anchor like a Olympic archer, when you pull back, most people, I find, prefer that close contact rather than having a ledge sticking out. So for that reason, I personally don't use the ledge, and a lot of people remove the ledge because it does feel uncomfortable, and sometimes when you do release, you do get that scraping of that ledge against your jaw, which can be a little irritating. For the pinky rest, not many tabs have one of these. I know the SF tabs have finger rest like this one, and this tab obviously has one, but most tabs don't. I don't think you actually need a pinky rest. When you see a tab like the KSL gold brass tab, this one has, like most conventional finger tabs, it has no pinky rest. So when you shoot with this tab, or any tab, your pinky is loose. And what's meant to happen is, basically it's meant to relax. So you draw the anchor and there's no pressure on this finger. There shouldn't be. In fact, some people prefer using the pinky to touch their muscle on their neck as a reference point. So when they draw an anchor, you actually see them just hook their pinky on that tendon there. So this is possible without the pinky rest. With the pinky rest, it's a bit harder to get that reference point because you have contact with this metal bar. Again, it is adjustable. The further forward you push it, the more contact there is to your finger. Whereas if you pull it all the way back or remove it, your finger is allowed to curl naturally. I originally removed this when I started. I tried it, I didn't like it too much, I removed it, I was shooting fine. I've put it back on, I'm still going to try it again. And one of the things with buying a tab like this is you are meant to experiment. There's no right or wrong way to use a tab like this. The reason why it is so expensive, the reason why it has so many functionalities, is to give the archer more flexibility. So having this is interesting. You can develop bad habits if you're not used to it or you don't like shooting with it. I think the worst habit is actually consciously clamping your pinky around that rest, and especially if it's too far forward, you may find yourself hooking that tab and adding torque to that finger. There isn't meant to be any pressure. It's there just to provide a point of reference, or basically something to stop your finger from going too far back. But if you are putting too much pressure on it, then you are doing it wrong. Now, the last thing I'll talk about is the palm plate, or the circle plate. The purpose of this is to prevent the hand from clenching around the finger tab. And this is a habit which a lot of beginners have. To demonstrate this without a finger tab, I want to use my, my finger savers here. A lot of beginners, when they begin archery, they'll incorrectly grip the string. The sign you see is knuckles forming like that. So when you see a clenched fist like this, this is actually a very, very poor draw. This is doing it wrong. What you want to see is a nice flat hand. So there's tension in the back of the hand, but nowhere else in the hand. So rather than clenching the string like this and then pulling it back like that, trying to let it go, should have a nice flat hand, and you pull the string like this. So all the tension's in the back of the hand, you pull back, it's nice and steady, and you've got a much stronger draw and a much stronger anchor as well. So that's the mistake a lot of people make when starting out. Going back to the finger tab, the purpose of this circle plate is to prevent your hand from clenching. Now, as an experienced archer, I don't feel I need the tab to make me do this. An archer in practice and training should be learning good, proper form, and that means the right drawing motion, the right hand position. So this is a little excessive to me. When I first used it, I actually pushed the ring back to its most compact position, so I didn't really need it as much. But over time, you do get tired. Your fatigue sets in. You don't really focus as much on the proper form. You do kind of cramp up and things start getting lazy. So this can be a good physical reminder of your form. Now, because I have been using it for a few months, the leather has been broken in very nicely. When I first used it, apart from the size, I was very uncomfortable with the stiffness of the leather. But that's the case with any tab you buy. You need to give it time to soften. As you can see here, the tab has been molded around my string, as you can see where I place the string on my fingers. And it's really comfortable to curl around now. Whereas originally, it was very hard to get around the string. And again, that's quite normal for most tabs. I felt that the palm plate and the block were quite large, so I wasn't too comfortable with that. But I think after getting used to the tab now, I feel more inclined to experiment with playing around with these features. I don't like the ledge. That's probably something I will remove as soon as I'm done. But the other two parts, the plate and the finger space, the finger rest, they seem pretty useful. And I think there's a lot of room to play around with. And if you don't like them, you can always remove the finger rest. You can always close the palm plate. So overall, I like the tab. I've replaced it as my default tab now. I do have several, but this is the one I now currently use. I like it. I can't compare it to the other Wiawis tab which has been released. I don't have it, but this one is very nice. To me, it's like a mix between the KSL Gold tab, the Win 360 tab, and the SF tabs, just by the design, the shape, and the fit around the hand. It is a good feel. Again, there are different ways you can adjust it, so it will suit a lot of people. That said, I wouldn't say this is a definite buy for everybody. I'd say this tab, given the price as well, we're more suited for intermediate to advanced archers. I wouldn't recommend this one for beginners. Even though it is very adjustable, I feel that as a beginner, you should be learning good form on a tab without these features. The extra features on this tab can make it very uncomfortable to shoot if you don't know your particular needs and your particular adjustments. And you can already find out if you use a more basic tab. So as a beginner or intermediate archer, I'd probably lean more towards the low to mid-range finger tabs like the Cavalier, which is a very popular tab, or the Win 360, or the SF tabs. Those are really nice tabs. This is a bit more mid to high end. So if you're at that level and you want a different tab that's a bit more customizable, that's a bit shinier than your current tab, then give this one a look. Against other high-end tabs like the Keystone Gold, it's comparable. Now the Gold is unique because this one is brass, it is very heavy. There is the aluminium version, which is about the same shape, but same weight as this one. This one seems a little lighter in its frame and design, so it's not going to be a huge drag on your hand. But in terms of its functionality and its feel, it's probably very similar to other expensive finger tabs. So overall, I do like the tab. I do recommend you check it out. Again, when I first used it, I felt a little uncomfortable. I wanted to use my smaller tab. I was more used to the feeling, but once I broke into this tab, it felt quite comfortable. It fit my hand really nicely. And again, I want to use more functionality to come with it. So it's interesting. If you are looking for a new tab that's better than your current one, then this is worth checking out. Anyway, this is NUSensei. Hope you found this interesting. I'll see you next time.